Good morning from the Homesteading Grandparents. I'm Paul Field.
And I'm Nan.
Welcome to our first ever swing and swat session. Now try saying that 3 times real fast. In a previous recording, we mentioned the desire to share a little bit of our story of parenting 4 of our grandchildren. But before we do, I think we need to explain our swing and swat.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay. So the swing that we're sitting on this morning has been a great place for Nan and I to come and just have some good conversation over the years. And invariably along the way, one of us would ask the other, where's the fly swatter?
It's always handy.
Always handy. Because the area we live in, we're surrounded by friends that have a lot of livestock, large livestock. And where you have livestock, there's going to be flies. And then of course on the Texas Gulf Coast, as you may know, we are inundated with mosquitoes during the rainy season. So the fly swatter has become an integral part of our swing times. So with that said, swing and swat. So to get started this morning, share a little bit of our story. My dad's family has a background of construction. And so I think we want to this morning sort of build a little foundation from which we can launch to start sharing our story. And we wanted to set some boundaries for ourselves. Some of the boundaries that we've talked about is it's of the utmost importance to us that we do not criticize anyone. It's important to us that we keep others' feelings at the front. We're not interested in trying to present a story for sympathy. We're not interested in that. We're not trying to tell our story for accolades, because we are not seeking accolades on this side of the Great Divide. We know where our real treasures are being stored. And we don't want to put anybody on a cross. That's not our intent at all. But what our intent is to try to build a community of like-minded folk. And if you do any research at all, it doesn't take long to find out that in our modern society, that the number of grandparents that are raising their children is growing by leaps and bounds every month. Do a little research. There was a study done August of 2020. Here in the United States of America, 2.7 million grandparents are raising their grandchildren. That's a great opportunity for a grandparent as well as the child. But there was some additional research that we've looked up and looked at and conducted by some pediatric medical facilities up on the East Coast. And they interviewed some 80,000 homes, 81,000 homes, and of those homes there were 2,400 grandparents that were raising their grandchildren. And they learned that there was really challenges that those homes faced. And to date, there's no real known interventions or how to help the grandparents. So there's a gap there. Additionally, we learned that of those homes that they researched or did the study on, that 30% of those homes, the grandparents stated that they had no day-to-day support system to help them. Someone to reach out to, someone to talk to, someone to just share the day with, or to help them through a stressful situation. So that's the driver for where we're at today, where Nan and I are at today. We've talked about this for probably a year. How can we do something to perhaps build a community and support for each other that are currently in this environment? So I think that's kind of our foundation that we can launch from, that we can start talking from. But so we both thought it may be a good idea to give you a little bit of framework of life prior to February the 6th, 2019, at 5:48 in the afternoon. Not that that date has impacted us at all, right? No, it has impacted us a great deal. It's probably one of the biggest life-changing experiences or LCEs that we've had to date. So, Nan, you want to tell us about life prior to the 4 of our grandchildren coming here?
Sure. We found this property out here. It just really fell into our laps back in the country. And we purchased the land, built a little apartment on it to live in until we built our house. And that's how we started this property in our homestead here.
So life before, I mean, we had our property. It was just you and I.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we could pretty much go and come as we pleased. Not that we did a lot of that, but Nan still has family over in the Louisiana area. And if we chose for a weekend to go over there, we could pick up and go. We didn't have to confer with anyone. We didn't have to check anyone else's schedule. If that's what we chose to do, we did. Friends call, hey, y'all want to go out to dinner this evening? You know, we could do that. I guess that all changed on February the 6th. I can remember Nan giving me a call and saying that, hey, we may be contacted to see if we can take our grandchildren. What are we going to do? Well, she and I both knew that there is no choice. And I think that kind of brings us to our real first topic, moving from the foundation to some of the questions that I think we wanted to ask each other or pose here initially, but was why did we say yes when we got that phone call? As grandparents, what are you going to do? No, you say no. We're going to just let them go, and whatever happens to them happens to them. No, no,
Not close.
So the answer was yes. Now, I will say over the 2 years that have evolved or passed, my understanding of that decision to say yes has become much more impactful and clear to me. We are a faith-based homestead. We believe in a higher power, Jesus Christ, and I believe in the good book, or we believe in the good book. Mm-hmm. And doing a little bit of studying and looking at that, there's several stories that are told throughout the good book about our expectations as Christ followers in regards to children. Quite clear that we are to be their overseers and overproviders or providers. Another story that stands out to me as we've walked through this 2 years is, you know, there was, Christ told his disciples, he said, to follow him. And in essence, I can't remember all the exact wording of it, but it was in essence, take up your cross and follow me. Well, in 2021, I don't have a cross. I don't have anything of that nature that I can take up and I'm, quote, following Christ. But our cross has become an interruption in our lifestyle prior to February the 6th. Remember, prior to February 6th, we could go and we could do whatever we pleased. That all changed. We now had responsibilities. We could have said no. We could have put that cross and just said, nah, I'm not going to pick that cross up. That would inconvenience me. I wouldn't be able to do what I wanted to do as a as a couple in our quote, heading into our golden years, we wouldn't be able to go on the cruises that we enjoyed going on. We wouldn't be able to do those things. So we could have left that cross sitting there and left it up to someone else with that responsibility. But I don't think the man on the other side of the Great Divide would have been very happy with that. So we said yes. Why did you say yes?
Because they're our grandkids and we love them and we want the best for them. Mm-hmm. And I can say that in the very beginning, we felt like it would probably be about a year or maybe a little bit longer than a year that we would have them. That's what we went into this thinking, really. Mm-hmm. Almost a year and a half later, in January of 20, we found out that that would really be the rest of our life. So back to February the 6th, 2019, we took the kids. Situations were there that we thought later the situation would change with the kids. In January of 20, we realized that it would not. And so we had to change our way of thinking in 20, really, because we thought we were babysitters before that. In 20, we realized that we are the parents, and we had to move forward with that.
That's a great segue into probably the next question that I think we wanted to talk about, and that was some of the biggest adjustments that we've had to make. And that right there that she mentioned about the mindset, that is probably the biggest adjustment, is developing that mindset that, okay, I'm going to be in my mid-70s when little man graduates high school.
We chose to not have kids together.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want any more kids. We raised our kids.
So, so that's a mindset that we've had to adjust to. Yep. Some of the other adjustments, cars. Cars are full now. Car seats.
Personalities.
Food, personalities, multiple personalities in the house. Little personalities. Little man, when he first got here, he was still in diapers. Been quite a while since we've changed diapers, right?
Yep.
A lot of different adjustments along the way. And we continue to grow. We continue to adjust. Mm-hmm. And they're growing. The kids are growing. They're changing. They're adjusting. And we'll cover some additional segments on some of these topics. We're just kind of hitting the high points right now, but this has not been easy on the kids either.
No.
They've had to adjust.
Yeah.
They've had to change their way to fit in with our lifestyle. So it's been a big adjustment for them as well. What else? There's a lot, and we'll flesh more of this out.
There's so many. I think the biggest, though, was realizing right at 60 years old, we're parents. Mm-hmm. Go try to get pregnant at 60 and have a kid.
Now, one thing, and this is kind of a, so how do you handle it day to day, right? Remember that 30% that the research or the study folk they found did not have the resources or the support? Mm-hmm. Well, this is one thing here. I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, I'm not in your brain, so I don't know.
Some of the biggest joys, there are a lot of joys in being a grandparent, raising your grandchildren. To see them grow, that has been a huge joy. When they come up and tell you multiple times throughout the day they love you, just to see them grow, just to see their faces. The little man is a jokester, and his sister that's right next to him in age, she's a jokester.
Yeah.
And it's so fun watching personalities and their jokes being funny, and just watching them develop, watching them grow. There is a lot of joy. You agree?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What's some of the things that have brought great joy to you?
Well, obviously, the obvious ones are watching them grow, watching the personalities change since they've been here. Them and little man he doesn't just come up to you and say, "I love you, Nan." It's, "I love you too," and you haven't even said "I love you," and to me that's just so dang cute. Just life with them, there's a lot of joy while there's a lot of tribulation. There's a lot of joy, so it offsets each other, really, for us, for me. Some days are worse than others. You get through them because we know that's what God has called us to do.
And I think that's one of the things. How do you get through each and every day? And again, in a different recording, we'll talk about Nan had COVID last year and spent 11 days in the hospital, and not knowing if she was going to make it those first few days. And how did we manage here around the homestead with our main superwoman out of commission for a period of time? It's just day-to-day struggles, and we'll talk about some of that here along the way. I think the main thing that gets us through each and every day is our faith. Knowing that we're doing the right thing, we're doing what we're called to do, and we're making a difference.
Yeah.
We're making a difference in our own lives.
Well, and how?
I mean, I have to say, probably grown quite a bit in areas of our life.
Mm-hmm.
The kids have grown, they're adapting. I can now relate to and understand folk that they've altered their life for someone else, for the good. There's just these life-changing events are intended to grow us.
Mm-hmm.
And through that growth, hopefully we use that to help others, which is one of the primary reasons that we started this YouTube channel, was to build that community of a resource, to build that community of help for each other.
In the beginning, it was not, and I'm not going to lie to anybody, it was not easy the first 3 or 4 months probably. There was a lot of things that was required of us to do that nobody ever shared with us. So if that's you, I understand. I understand what you're going through. And I'm sorry you're going through that. If you need help, if you need somebody to talk to, shoot us an email or something. We can try to help. That's what this is all about.
We'll put our email address in the link below in the description box down there, and certainly we're open to feedback, ideas, suggestions, and understand we're not licensed, certified, anything.
No.
We're your average citizen, one of the 2.7 million in the United States, grandparents that are raising their grandchildren. And all we have to pull from is experience. So we certainly will not be passing out any advice. We will simply be sharing the story, what we've gone through, how we've gotten through it. And again, it's primarily our faith. Yes, we've had several of our good close friends that have jumped in at various times, especially when Nan was in the hospital. A number of folk reached out and helped us around here. We've had a lot of folk help us. I feel like we're blessed that we've had the support we've had.
Oh, we extremely blessed. When we first got the children, we had no beds. We had no clothes. We had nothing for them. And people got together and we got it done. It takes a whole community to raise a child, a whole village. And that's what happened here. People pitched in. When they heard what was going on, I would get a phone call. What do you need? That's love.
And that's friends.
That's friends.
That's family.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, family, Nan's family, my family, they have been nothing but support for us and checking on us, finding out how we're doing. So we do feel like we've had support. We feel like that we've had, you know, a lot of backing, and certainly through the prayers of our friends and family that, you know, we're where we are today. So I think I'm kind of worded out today.
You are?
Yeah.
Well, let's just wish them well.
What else do you?
I think that's all we probably want to touch on today. We don't want to be overwhelming with what we're sharing, but just to know that we're there for support.
Mm-hmm. We know your time is valuable. We value your time. We value your subscriptions, you know, subscribing and sharing and helping us build this community. So please share this recording with someone that you feel it may help.
Or if it's you, it may help. Subscribe to us, because we'll get into some other things later that may be valuable to you. Or maybe you have stuff that might be valuable to us.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for watching. We'll be making more of these videos along the way. Again, we appreciate your time. God bless, and you have a great day.